We were talking about your mentor and the instrument that he was a master of. It's the instrument that you fell in love with. So we're gonna play a song that represents your love for the Gyil, right? Gyil, yes.
Yes.
And this is Pogtona.
Po tuna. I know it's not, it doesn't sound anything like it's spelled.
How do I pronounce?
This
Did I
is
pronounce your last name right? Naranjo.
Naranjo. Naranjo.
Naranjo. Copy that.
Uh-huh.
So, Pogtuna, and this song represents your love for the Gyil. So, tell us. I don't know. Tell us about. I've never met really someone who is so connected to an instrument as you are with this instrument. So, I'm just gonna kind of open it up for you to talk about like your love affair with this instrument.
I'm hopelessly in love. Everybody knows it. She's gone. She's out there. Let her go. Let me talk a little bit about this song and the person. This is from a recording called. You talk about something that's not spelled the way it's the way it's pronounced. It's a CD called Zet Nya, which means natural conditions. And this is by my husband Barry on those drums that you hear. Which is, this particular song, it's a drum called Quar. I had one, but I took it away. Anyway, myself, Barry Olson, and Bernard Woma. Bernard Woma was at the time, present Gyil master of the National Dance Company of Ghana. Bernard was, another master of happiness. Let me talk a little bit about the Gyil itself. It's a 14 or 18 bar African marimba. It's tuned pentatonically. So, when you first walk up to it, you say, oh man, you can't do anything but play the right notes on this instrument because everything sounds sweet. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned before, I did a lot of research because Joseph, whose last name I'm sorry, I can never committed to memory, but this doctoral student just played the marimba so well. I was studying marimba as a classically oriented percussionist in college, and I just, when I was a kid, I heard the marimba in Mexico, and I said, "Wow, the sound is so amazing." I wasn't so crazy about the music, though. But I was crazy about Parliament Funkadelic. Earth, Wind and Fire. All those. As you said, Carlos Santana. There was a West African group, West African rock group, which the name of which slipped my mind. Hopefully, I'll get back to it. But I wonder if the marimba had ever met Parliament Funkadelic. And when I heard Kakraba Lobi on a record, I said, holy smokes, not only is this instrument amazing, but it has some kind of, it shows some kind of key of the connection between rock and roll, gospel, jazz, funk, and West Africa. Because I was hearing the same, the simpler songs, which none of which I chose for the playlist, unfortunately, but the harmonies, the blues, all of that is coming out of this instrument. So I kind of sat around for a while and, listened to a lot of CDs, listened to a lot of Kakraba Lobi. And then when I went, I was just blasted with so many players. I actually went at the exact right time, got in the the right bus to go to a festival called Kobane, which was Gyil players night and day for 3 days. And, I was just sandblasted with this energy. Since then, I really began to study with Kakraba. And he taught me a lot of amazing pieces. And I finally got the courage after about 5 years to say, could we transcribe some of this for marimbas so that American marimbas could study this music, because I think they would learn a lot about the instrument. I certainly did. And, I'd hoped to share it. And he said, "Oh, yeah." He was so cool. I thought he was going to say no, because he was a very traditional kind of guy. He did things according to tradition. But he said, "Oh, yo." And I'm kind of talking like him. I think English was like his seventh language. So
Yeah, I believe it.
But extremely intelligent person. But he said, "Oh, that's a fine idea. Fine idea. Your people, if your people, my people, we can learn about each other. That is good, good, good. Yes, good, good, good. We do this." So we did it. We did a whole
awesome.
transcription series. And, I've learned so much about the complexity of the West African mind. All this stuff is passed on. No music. People don't write stuff. They pass this stuff on like rapid
the
fire.
stories.
Yeah, like telling a story. And yeah, I knew, it's an amazing spokespiece for an amazing, pardon me, an amazing society of people who not only are intelligent and inquisitive, but love one another and want the world to be a great place.
I believe it.
Excuse me.
No worries. You want to get a glass of water? Are you okay?
Let me see if there's something. I'm gonna
do
be
your
okay.
thing.
I'm
I'll
cool.
edit it out.
I'm cool.
Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool.
So tell me about like the traditional mallets that are used for the Gyil, and is it sometimes played with two mallets per hand, or is it singular mallets?
I happen to have a pair right here.
Oh, perfect question.
This looks like a baseball bat, to a lot of people here. Let me put it in the.
Oh, wow.
It's now let me show you a marimba mallet. I think I have one of those too. Hang on. Put my buds back in. So this is a marimba mallet. And
it's
yes,
hard,
if you use,
correct?
This is rubber. Actually, this is, I don't mean to be, don't take this the wrong way, but this is the Valerie Naranjo signature mallet from Encore Mallets. So I don't know if my hand is, okay. So as a classical player, this is one of the grips you use to play marimba, two mallets in one hand. So what you do is with this part of your hand, you play this mallet.
Mm-hmm.
And with this part of your hand, you play this mallet.
Okay.
So it's like being a piano player with four fingers.
Now, when you're playing, are you adjusting the spacing of the mallets to hit? Wow.
So that is why one of my mentors whom I adore, his name is Lee Howard Stevens. He came up with this grip.
Okay.
But that's the reason that you notice the two mallets, the back of the two mallets don't touch each other. Yep. So you have this total, you're supposed to have this total, if you practice a lot and put your game on, this total independence between one mallet and the other. So not only can you change but you're supposed to be able to play them independently. So that's what took me to New York, is to study with this gentleman. Oh, I'm so lucky. So I'm such a lucky girl to have moved to New York. So now the Gyil is a completely different thing. Now you would say, okay, it's only one mallet, and it is, but you play the same amount of things. You play the same amount of music. You just tag team between one place and the other. Think of it like this. You could be on the phone talking to someone, making a soup, and paying attention to your child at the same time. That's called multitasking.
Right, sure.
So the Gyil multitasking is you usually have, it's like being a one-man band, actually, or a one-woman band. You play the bass line with one hand, and sometimes it's, you might have a conversation, because African music is so conversational. It's always about conversation. People love conversation. Who doesn't love a great conversation? Who doesn't love a great conversation, right?
Sure.
So you have the bass and treble, or bass and like the bass guitar and the rhythm guitar. And then above that, in your right hand, if you're a right-handed player, you have the melodies, and then you can sing the melodies, and then you improvise according to the melodies while your bass and your guitar are going. So it's really complicated.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
And but yet, it's complicated, but it's soulful. And, like any great jazz musician, like any of the great musicians in the Saturday Night Live band, for example, the harder you work, the easier it's supposed to sound. And the more it gives peace and joy and love and all that good stuff to the person who's listening to it.
That's awesome, Val. That's such a beautiful way to put it.